In my previous video on matrices, I have covered how do we perform the addition of two matrices and how do we multiply a scalar to a matrix. In this video, we will see how do we perform the matrix multiplication, how to find the product of two matrices. So if we have to multiply two matrices, the first condition necessary is if we have a matrix A, the order of the matrix is say m cross n. If we have another matrix B and the order of the matrix is n cross P, then if we multiply the two matrices, the resultant matrix AB, the product of A and B, will have a order of m cross P. So a matrix multiplication is possible only when the number of columns of matrix A is equal to the number of rows of matrix B. Okay, so we see that a matrix multiplication is possible only when these inner orders are equal. So they have to be equal. So the resultant, the product matrix will have an order which is made up of the number of rows of A and the number of columns of P, m cross P. Okay, so this is one condition which should satisfy for two matrices to get multiplied. Now let us look at an example. Suppose I take a matrix A which is 1, 2 and 0. Let us write the order of the matrix. Order is the number of rows which is 1 and number of columns which are 3. Let us have a matrix B 7 and 6, 2 and 3. Okay, let us write the order of matrix B. There are 2 rows and 2 columns. Okay, now the question is it possible to perform the product of A and B? So what do we have to look at? We have to look at the inner orders. Here it is 3 columns and 2 rows and they are not equal. And so A cross B is not possible for the given matrix A and B here. Okay. So two matrix multiplication is possible only when the number of columns of the first matrix is equal to the number of the rows of the second matrix. Now, if the number of columns and the number of rows of the second matrix becomes equal, then how do we perform the matrix multiplication? Let us see this through an example. We have a matrix A given here, matrix B, and we have to find the product of A and B. So AB, BA and A square. Let us see this one at a time. First we will see whether the product of A and B is possible or not. So let us write the order of the matrix 2 by 2. Order of matrix B is also 2 by 2. The inner orders are equal and hence A into B is possible. Correct? And what will be the order of the matrix A into B? It will be these outer orders, which is 2 cross 2. So we know that our matrix AB will be a 2 cross 2 matrix. Now let us see how do we perform the multiplication. So let us write matrix A, matrix B. When we perform the matrix multiplication, please remember that every row of the first matrix gets multiplied to the column elements of the second matrix. So here our first row is 6 and 3 and these elements gets multiplied to the column elements of matrix B. So 6 times negative 2 and we add it to 3 times 2. Is this clear? Now, the first row of the first matrix A gets multiplied to the second column of the matrix B. So, it will be 6 times 0 plus 3 times 4. Okay, the second row of matrix A gets again multiplied to the first column of matrix B. So minus 2 times minus 2. This element here gets multiplied to this element here and 4 minus 4 gets multiplied to 2. So minus 4 times 2 and we have to add these two products. The second row again gets multiplied to the second column of matrix B. So it will be minus 2 times 0. Plus minus 4 times 4. Okay. Let us simplify this. So this is minus 12 plus 6. Here it is 0 plus 12. Here it is 4 minus 8. And here it is 0 and minus 16, which on simplification gives us a minus 6, 12, minus 4 and minus 16 as our product of A and B. And we see that there are 2 rows and there are 2 columns. Yes? So this is how we perform the multiplication of two matrices. Now let us see what happens in case of matrix BA. We will have to write the matrix B first and then multiply it to matrix A. Again it is 2 by 2 and 2 by 2 matrix. So we will get the resultant matrix as a 2 by 2 matrix again, and we'll follow the same process to perform the multiplication. If it is A square, if we have to find A square, it is A times A. Okay, the order of matrix A is 2 by 2, again 2 by 2. So the resultant matrix A square, which will also be a 2 by 2 matrix. Okay, so I hope the multiplication of two matrices is clear to everyone. Let us see an example. Now let us look at this example. It is asking us to evaluate this expression. Okay, so we have to find the value of this expression. According to our BODMAS rule, first we have to handle the bracket. So we keep this matrix as it is and we perform the addition of the matrix inside the bracket. The condition for adding two matrices that their orders should be same. So there are 3 rows and 2 columns, 3 rows and 2 columns. Order are same, so we can add the corresponding elements. So 4 gets added to negative 2, correct? Then 0 gets added to 3, 0 gets added to negative 3, minus 1 gets added to 5, minus 1 gets added to 0, and 2 gets added to minus 3, and this is our resultant matrix. Okay, on simplification we get 2, 3, minus 3, 4, minus 1 and minus 1. Okay, so we have simplified the bracket. Now we will have to perform the multiplication of this in this matrix. So let us first check the order whether the multiplication is possible. This is 2 rows and 3 columns, and this is 3 rows and 2 columns. The inner orders are equal and hence we can perform the multiplication, and the resultant multiplication matrix will be a 2 by 2 matrix, correct? So let us perform. Every row gets multiplied to the column in B. So 0 into 2 plus 2 into negative 3 plus negative 2 into negative 1. This is our first element. Then the first row gets multiplied to the second column element. So 0 times 3 plus 2 times 4 and plus minus 2 times minus 1. This row gets multiplied to this column. Now the second row will get multiplied to the first column. So it will be 4 times 2 plus 1 times negative 3 plus 2 times negative 1. And the second row will get multiplied to the second column to give us a 4 times 3 plus 1 times 4 plus 2 times negative 1. Okay, we will perform this addition to get our matrix as minus 4, 10, 3, 14. This is the matrix, a 2 by 2 matrix obtained by multiplying these two matrices. Correct? And Now what we have to do? We will have to multiply the scalar 2. When we perform the multiplication, the scalar gets multiplied to each and every element of the matrix. Okay, so we multiply it to all the elements to get the answer as -8, 26 and 28. This is the value of this particular expression. Okay. So I hope how do we perform the matrix addition, how do we perform the multiplication, and how do we multiply a scalar to a matrix is clear to everyone. In our next video, we will see what do we mean by identity matrix and how do we perform multiplication with an identity matrix. If you have any doubts regarding the multiplication of two matrices, you can send me an email at kirti.mathacademy@gmail.com. This is my YouTube channel Math Academy. If you have liked my videos, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Thank you.